On the home page, click on the tile menu titled Create New Roster. In this step, you will enter the sport, term, year, and competition level. In the next screen, you will be asked to enter the date of the first day of class, as well as the date of the end of term. The date of the first day of class and the date of the end of the term is defined by the dates listed in your official academic calendar. The end of the term date will also dictate the 30-day window in which to recertify student athletes for the next term. Lastly, a confirmation page to validate all the information you just entered. Ensure that the information for the roster is correct when pressing Create Roster. Any changes to this roster once it is created or request to delete a roster will require contacting the national office. Once the roster has been created, you can click Add Students to start filling it. You will be asked to indicate the type of student. Assign students. Students that are on any previous roster from your school, regardless of the sport and term. Shortlist students. A list of students that were added to a shortlist for that school and sport. The shortlist must be active. Unassigned students. A full list of students excluding the assigned ones. In this step, you will select a student or students from the list and click Add Student Athlete to the roster. If needed, use the search box to filter students within this list. You can filter by first name, last name, ECID, and campus ID. After adding students, you will be taken back to the roster detail page where you can see the full list of students. If you wanted to add more students, simply click on the Add Members tab and repeat the steps above. This time, let's add a shortlist student. Select the student or students from the list. Click Add Student Athlete to the roster. Finally, let's add an unassigned student. Unassigned students are students who have not been on a roster or shortlist for your school before, but that you can search to add. You will be asked to filter by one of the following criteria: name, ECID, or date of birth. Click Next. Select an unassigned student from the results table and click Add Student Athlete to the roster, or click Previous to do another search. In case no students were found, you will see the following message: please navigate to the previous screen and try with new filters or create a new student. Warning: all student athletes should have a corresponding ECID number. The option to proceed with a student who does not have an ECID number should be used only in rare and exceptional situations, and only after exhausting the search function with all name combination searches first. Proceeding with certifying a student athlete who does not have an ECID number may bear the risk of certifying an ineligible student. An institution that permits a student athlete to compete while ineligible is subject to forfeits and additional penalties. Contact NAIA Legislative Services for assistance before moving forward. Fill out the student information and click Create Student. After this, the student will have been created and added to the roster. If you need to remove a student from the roster, go to the Remove Members tab. Select the students and click Remove Selected Students. You will get a success confirmation message. Note: only students with a certification status equal to pending or rejected can be removed from the roster. After adding a student to the roster, they become a roster member. To go to the roster member details, simply click on the link RM-XXXXXX. You will be required to edit the student's details prior to adding them to the eligibility certificate. Only students who have met all eligibility requirements and determined eligible will be added to the certificate. This includes filling out the required questionnaire of transfer player eligibility statement and outside competitive experience, if applicable. In the case it is ineligible, the system will tell you which rules were not met. Similarly, you will see the eligible screen. Click Next. Once you have eligible roster members, you will be allowed to create a certificate. click on the tab Create Certificate. To create a certificate, you will first select the student or students. Only eligible students will be shown in this table. You will then select the 4 approvers. The drop-down will be populated with a list of active contacts you have previously entered for your institution. Finally, you will enter a date of first contest, which will be specific to the student athletes included on this specific certificate, not the date of the first competition for the entire team. Once done, click Create Certificate. Once a certificate has been created, click on Go to Certificate Detail. In case you need it, from this page, you can click on Add/Remove Students. Again, only eligible students will be shown here. If you need to export the list of students on a certificate, go to the far right tab titled Export and click on the downward arrow. A CSV or Excel file will be downloaded. Once you are ready to submit for approval, click on the top right button, Submit Certificate. A confirmation page will be shown. While the certificate is out for approval, you will not be able to add or remove students. After a certificate has been submitted, all approvers will receive an email notification. By clicking on the link, you will be taken to the certificate approval page. If there is something missing, you can reject the submission and enter a reason. As soon as one person rejects, an email notification will be sent out to the submitter. The certificate status will change to Rejected. The submitter will need to make required changes and submit again. If for some reason the approver is not available to approve, the record can be reassigned. Take into consideration that the desired reassigned user must cover all the roles of the current approver. To do so, click on the corresponding approval. In this example, the user is covering 3 roles: Athletic Director, FAR, and Registrar. Click on the top right corner button, Reassessing Approver. An approver can only be reassigned if the status is pending. Finally, go back and approve the certificate. Once all approvers have approved, the certificate status will get updated to Approved, and an email notification will be sent out to the 4 approvers, Athletic Director, Faculty Athletics Representative, Head Coach, and Registrar, the submitter, and the Eligibility Chair. Shortly after approved, navigate to the Attachments tab, where you will find the certificate PDF. Take into account that you will only be able to remove students when the certificate has not yet been submitted or if it has been rejected. If the certificate has been sent out for approval or if it has been fully approved, you will not be able to make any changes. Go to the Add Remove Students tab. Select the students, click Remove Selected Students. You will notice that the students will still be visible in the certificate, but with a status equal to Removed. Repeat the previous step, Submit for approval. All approvers will receive a new notification email. Once all approvers have approved, the certificate status will get updated to Approved. An email notification will be sent out to the 4 approvers, AD, FAR, Head Coach, and Registrar, the submitter, and the Eligibility Chair.